It's raining.
I haven't touched a barbell or a dumbbell in 2 months. 2 months, no gym at all. So in some ways, I'm in a unique position to explain what actually happens when you go through a gymless quarantine. Now, this video isn't going to go into the political side of things too much, just because I don't think it's really appropriate on this channel. But suffice to say, I don't think your gym is going to be closed for 1 week. I don't think it'll be 2 weeks. I think it'll have to be longer. Right now, in most European countries and in America, things are going exponential. Cases are doubling every 4 to 5 days. So I think it's a pretty good, call that things are going to be closed for quite some time. Furthermore, just because there's no cases in your area doesn't mean there aren't actually cases. Because in America, in England, and some other countries, testing is a total joke. There's very little testing, and if there's no official cases, there's probably still people who have it near where you live. And yes, I do mean to scare you a little bit, because the reality is that this is a very serious disease. Just because you might not die from it, there are young people who have no existing conditions, and yet they are still, ending up in critical care, or ending up with permanent lung damage. It can cause fibrosis of the lungs. There are some studies where people afterwards, they recovered, but anything more than a moderately paced walk, they have trouble breathing. So you really have to weigh the benefit and the drawback. I would say even if your gym is still open, you might not want to go, just because you might not want to put yourself at risk. It can stay airborne for up to 30 minutes. 30 minutes. There have been cases where someone got on a bus, and then they got off the bus, someone else came on the bus, half an hour later, and they still got the disease. So this is something that is quite serious. This is not just the flu. Don't listen to some idiot in charge who wants to downplay this to try to save the stock market. But don't rely on the government to protect you. You should be protecting yourself by not going to these public places like the movie theater, the mall, anywhere like that, and that includes the gym. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to waste away. I'm still, somewhat muscular, even after 60 days. I think you can still make progress, even. If you're at a very, very high level, like if you're squatting 600 pounds, yeah, you're going to lose some leg size over the next few weeks and months. It's just inevitable. You can't recreate that stress through only your body weight. It's just not going to happen. However, if you're at a lower level, you can certainly maintain, and if you're at an even lower level, you can actually increase your fitness, your muscular size, through appropriate training. So let's take it muscle group by muscle group. My arms are at least as big as they were before, if not bigger, just through doing pull-ups, bar rows, handstand push-ups, dips. Those are all going to get you enough arm stimulus to where you can at least maintain and probably grow. My shoulders have reduced in size a little bit, but not too much. My traps have definitely decreased in size, just because it's hard to get the same amount of resistance as a deadlift, as a shrug, as as a 100 or 120 kilo row. That's really hard to fully replicate. My lats are probably about as big as they were before. My spinal erectors have probably reduced in size, again, because squatting, deadlifting, back extensions, good mornings, those are almost impossible to fully replicate with just body weight. So you're going to have to accept that you're going to lose some size in those areas. My chest is also maybe decreased a little bit. Glutes, quads, also maybe a little bit of a decrease. Hamstrings are about the same, actually. Body weight exercises can be quite effective for the hamstrings. And calves, I don't know, who gives a shit? So my advice to you is just to take this time as a sort of deload, to rest, to recover, to recuperate, to, find some new goals, whether it's running, whether it's calisthenics, whether it's other types of bodyweight training. Get the barbell out of your system. Just forget about it for a few weeks, maybe even a few months. Same with dumbbells, same with machines. You don't need them to be healthy. You don't need them to build a great physique. They certainly are an amazing tool that I really, really like and I really enjoy, but you need to get them out of your head for at least a little bit, because it'll destroy you. I mean, I was super disappointed when I came back from Chinese New Year and everything was closed. And I kept thinking, one more week, one more week, one more week. And by this point, it's been 2 months. And, I still miss the barbell. But at the same time, you can't get your hopes up too much. You can't think, oh, this is going to be 2 weeks, because it could be 2 months for you. So I think it's important to set new goals, to keep moving forward. Don't focus on the past. If you had a goal before to deadlift 200 kilos, set a new goal that is similar. Say, oh, I want to broad jump 9 feet. If you wanted to squat something, say, oh, I want to do a vertical jump of 28 inches. If you wanted to bench press a certain amount of kilos, well, switch to push-ups or reverse grip push-ups or some other variation for the chest. Take your old goals and change them into new goals that will be as similar as possible. That's really the only way to mentally keep moving forward. You probably won't lose that much muscle. Your motivation for the gym will be super high when you get back. It'll be like you're a new lifter again and everything is growing very quickly. You'll be extremely sensitive to training. And part of the reason for this is that you have satellite cells around your muscle. When you train hard, those satellite cells, the nuclei, are donated into the muscle. When this happens, the muscle can grow. When you lose muscle tissue, but you don't lose those satellite cells. And this is the main reason why regaining muscle is so much easier than gaining it in the first place. There's a great article by strongerbyscience.com, Greg Nuckols, who I love his site, he's fantastic. And it says, grow like a new lifter again. It actually recommends taking time off every year. And you'll notice that a lot of Olympians do this. During the off season, they will stop lifting. A lot of them will keep active, they'll keep moving, they'll do cardio, they'll stay healthy, but they might not touch a barbell in the off season. If you have Olympians who are taking time off, why should you be scared of taking time off? You shouldn't be. Taking time off is normal, it's healthy, and if you cannot take time off from the gym, I think it probably shows that you have a problem, that you have a psychological addiction to the gym. Now, it's one of the better addictions to have, all things considered, but I also think that, occasionally breaking that addictive cycle can be overall healthy in the long term. And for your results, it should be at least as good as just always going. They've done studies where they had one group who trained for 15 weeks, another group trained for 6 weeks, took 3 weeks off, and then trained for another 6 weeks. And the results, identical, exactly the same. I'm not even kidding, I'll put it on the screen. So you don't have to train all the time, you don't have to train super hard all the time. You can absolutely maintain your muscle, and even if you don't, who cares? It doesn't matter. It comes back fast later. So don't get too worked up, and try to stay positive through this difficult time. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.